All right, I'm gonna start the intro. Are we gonna go? Are we ready to go live? Is everyone emotionally prepared to go live? Hello, really? We're live? Okay. Hello, welcome to the Amnesia Fortnight 2017 closing ceremonies. Woo! Now you can clap. Yeah, it's exciting.
We won't see everything you see, and you won't see everything we see. So everybody in the audience can and should play along. So you have to help Tim figure out what the hell he's supposed to do. Everybody had the big kind of cathartic play session with Tim, playing in that giant group live on the stream.
Where's the cavity?
Bottom, third from the left.
Bottom left.
Third from the left, bottom left.
Drill it. You gotta hold the button.
Hold the button.
Yeah. Fill it. Yeah, jeez. All right. Whoa.
Drill the cavity in the front teeth. Drill the cavity in the front teeth.
Shut up! What?
Drill
what?
What are you?
The room reset. It's over here now. The room moved. I'm the Grim Reaper. I know what I have to do. The whole time they're making that game, I heard rumblings like, "You're gonna have to play this when it's over," and I was like, "It's fine. It's fine." I knew they were gonna try to make it as embarrassing as possible, and that I would be the butt of it. It was an honor. I felt it was an honor to be someone who they felt could take it. It was just a lot more physically demanding than I realized. I'm not really at my peak aerobic fitness right now. And I was just like, getting up and getting down, I was just like, the big problem was not being embarrassed. And the problem was just like not having a heart attack. I was like all sweating, like, hi, okay, and the puppet, and this is,
Hit the triggers. There you go. Hit the triggers. Make them talk. Make them talk.
Okay.
Too late, you failed.
Now that wasn't that humiliating. It was kind of fun. Everyone was yelling. I think it wasn't exactly a test of what that game was really like because everyone was just yelling at me what to do.
The real test would be like, a blind group of people who weren't the team and somebody who hadn't played the game and see if they could get through everything. So I think there was a little bit of cheating on that part. You're unveiling the game on a live stream. We wanted to help it along a little bit, that it wasn't like a blind Kleenex testing situation. Because I do think there are a lot of cases where we would have run into clarity and usability issues, like things like the puppet show and your head poking out and the kids screaming at you, like all of that stuff. I think I don't think that got to the point where it could stand on its own, where somebody who was going into that situation and didn't know what to expect at all would be able to make heads or tails of it. Some of it worked, fine, like jump rope.
And we're jumping rope. Ready? One.
Yeah.
Some of those other ones, I think we didn't totally solve all of the usability issues. I think we got closer.
All right, get ready. Last one.
Nice.
Why? Okay. I think.
Listen to what Aaron is screaming because he tuned it.
I know. I can't hear anything you guys are saying. Okay.
There's a little more screaming than I think the game can support. It starts to get hard when it's that many towards the end of the stream. I kind of had to get up close to Tim and help coach him specifically because it was so overwhelming. Other than a few small little issues, here and there that I'm like, I could have been better. everything worked really, really well. So I was excited with how it was received.
Well, thanks, guys. Oh my goodness! I had no idea you guys were here.
You're a really good sport. Thank you.
I hope that was as good for you guys.
It was great. It was great.
I was kind of hoping that we got stuff stood up a little earlier, so we could have done that more dedicated playtesting. So the thing we ended up showing was basically like just a quick second revision of the thing at all. I hope the team is proud of all the stuff, how it came out. Just like a huge amount of variety in there.
Zach McClendon and the I Have No Idea What I'm Doing team. Thank you. Okay. I hope this hasn't changed things between us all.
Yeah, I think just working closely with anybody like that, you form a more direct relationship and kind of understand how they like to work and what you might be doing to annoy them and how you could possibly avoid those things in the future.
Well, you know what I actually have is the Amnesia Fortnight survey results.
Oh, yes.
The ways leads could have done better. Be less stressed out. Yes.
Oh, you guys are a bunch of jerks.
Be less panicky, specifically about technical problems. That seemed to be something where leads were less panicky about design and scope problems and more panicky about technical hurdles that they didn't know how to overcome within the finite period of time. Please have less
A little harrowing, at least, it was for me. I mean, definitely, in retrospect, having watched like the documentaries as they came out, wish I'd handled the stress of it better. I was super impressed with the whole tech team and Amy and Aaron and them pulling that stuff off because there was a lot of pressure and I put a lot of pressure on them.
Spawn actor. It's the Spawn actor call.
Do you think that
I
you
did a
made the right
real-
call on going with the network?
Yes. It probably would have been weeks of networking, or like programmer time to make it work the other way, which obviously we wouldn't have had.
We knew that it was going to really suck. But we did.
Building of the game is much more a strong memory than the game itself. You make the game and the game goes out and it kind of just lives on its own and it's this thing that's external to you. But the experience of making it is a thing that you lived through and that becomes part of who you are. And so making of it a healthy, good environment is super, super important to me. And I'd like to do better at that the next time.
Works for me.
I mean, Amnesia Fortnite is definitely a pressure cooker, and it tests people, but everybody learns something about themselves when they do it. And a lot of those people, they work on Psychonauts, so that little test of like, what could it be like if things get under pressure is, I feel like a good practice, and it can bring things to your attention. And if he learned anything from that he wants to apply to Psychonauts, I think that's a win for everybody. Congratulations, man. That was awesome. That was crazy. High five. Good job, you guys. Good job.
Just silly enough.
I was just worried that all of my loose meat was jiggling while I was churning that butter.
No, it's fine. It all looks fine.
If they had not overcome them, I think it would be a different story. If they had just been like, we couldn't figure it out, and I think everyone would have been really depressed. But the fact that they figured it out and got that really challenging thing to work, and that we all had so much fun playing it, I think it means that it was a success.
AF is like a good crucible for sort of pushing on all kinds of strengths and weaknesses. So I'm always, it's not that I'm like bummed about it or unhappy. It's just like I always try to take kind of feedback and learning from that kind of stuff to heart. You sort of look at your experience and you enforce this arc on it of like, well, if this hadn't happened, that hadn't happened. And who knows, like you can't, you can tell that story to yourself, but you don't know what it would have been like. If it had all been incredibly smooth and upbeat, we'd be here like, maybe it'd be a less interesting story, but I think it would have only benefited the experience if we hadn't had those technical problems.
Hey. Step into Greg's office. It seemed like it went pretty great this time around.
It went great. I have no complaints at all. It was amazing. Because it's a fun little prototype.
Derek Brand,
Hello.
good to see you. How have you been?
Good to see you.
How many people are going to be playing today?
As many as we can get. I think there's 4 people.
And they're going to be in the offices playing
Yes.
networked. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I just noticed there's a nice butt on that character.
There's a
Did you have a special consultant on your project?
Jared helped me.
Yeah.
We went back and forth on it.
It's a little bit too much attention to detail on that.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It was super fun to watch everyone play it and try to make pots and try to smash each other. It was overall. It was really cool. That was a good payoff moment.
Okay. So one of your team can be just the. Oh, that's a nice view. Look at that.
Yeah, you can watch a battle.
That's crazy. What happened there? What happened there?
Some physics fun. Yeah, and let's see. Penn Ward also wrote the dialogue for the ghost.
Yuki, could you do some of that live, just since we can't hear it in the game?
Yeah.
Can you make a really wobbly, weird one?
Yeah, make a bad one.
If you make one really like unstable looking, it'll kind of wobble.
I couldn't believe what Kiln did as far as just like, hey, well, let's add this one more feature that's super critical, and actually that's what the whole game is about. And the water. Oh, jeez.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh, you got two. He made like a little dish. It's like a cat food dish.
Oh, you hurt your guy. Oh.
Denied.
Why is he so powerful? Is that 'cause he made
see
it
that?
low?
Yeah, it's very low and it has a lot of health because it's very wide.
Oh, man, what a weird game you've made there.
I know, it's so weird, isn't it?
I like that there's a lot of strategy here, because I was like,
Yeah.
how is the pot going to affect the battle? But it seems like it was hilarious to watch Derek, because the first time he was a project leader, it was kind of like, oh, God, I don't know what I can do. I don't know if I can do this. And then he's like, oh, God, it's really hard. It's really hard. And then he, like, pulled through, and everyone clapped for him, and everyone cried watching the documentary. It was like this, like, underdog. And he's still, because he's so kind of soft-spoken and humble, he always seems like a perpetual underdog. But there's a little bit of this time he's kind of like, you could tell he wasn't worried in a weird way. It was just really inspiring, I think, to see his confidence growing and him put together an idea that was really well thought out.
Yeah, and there's definitely more. Like we got to a bunch of attributes, but we could have gone even further. There was like people just having lots of ideas, which is always awesome. People seemed pretty excited about it. Personally, I think there were some things that like we could have maybe done differently, but also with the time that we had, I don't know how much of that would have been possible anyway. Some of the like clay building stuff is a little unintuitive at first. You have to kind of get used to it.
Wait, are you going inside?
There's a couple techniques. It's a little awkward to talk about, but you want to start from the bottom and work your way up. Usually.
Those little patterns on it.
I can't.
This is crazy. This is really good. This is really awesome.
Thanks.
I won't play
very
it.
good. We had an amazing team. I'm just reminded of how much, how badass everyone is. You know, it's just like a reminder of like, holy crap, these are professionals. They're all amazing, and yeah, it's a good reminder.
We asked for sort of like MVPs, and really almost everyone got mentioned in one way or another. Matt Enright, you probably got the most mention. Where are you? Is he here? Not here?
Yeah, he's behind
Oh, there he is. 70% of you think Kiln should be turned into a game. It won overwhelmingly as the game that we should make.
Oh yeah, that was awesome to hear. People were like, yeah, let's make this thing. So that's exciting. I'm glad that people still felt that way afterwards.
I mean, that's just a fact. It's just a data point. A lot of people wonder what happens now. You know, we finished it. Do we make games out of these or not? And a lot of it has to do with the project leader. Like the project leader, if they just can't stop thinking about it, and they keep like, hey, I was working on that game a little bit, and if they keep coming to talk to me about it, it'll be clear that this game has more of a life, and the project leader is really passionate about it, and that we could keep working on it. But some of them got so much attention that it'd be hard to like forget about them.
It feels like a billion years ago, to be honest. Like it happened really. It felt like it lasted forever, and then it was over, and it was only 2 weeks or whatever, and now it feels like it's been months since that happened, but it hasn't really.
Have you thought about it much since?
A little bit.
I've also been also just trying to focus, get back into my normal day-to-day stuff. It's a weird transition because my role shifts so much. I'm no longer leading, I'm now kind of back where I was before. So that's taken some adjustment. The first few days especially were kind of strange for me. I was just having a hard time focusing, also because I was still thinking so much about the AF project, new ideas of that. I still wasn't done thinking about where to take that project. So it took a little while for me to get refocused.
Do you find yourself wanting to tell Zach what to do?
Not more than I did before.
Let's start with Darwin's dinner. Devin Kelly Sneed, please. Come sit in the hot seat. Oh, look at that! Now, Devin, your game was based on Anna's purse, is what I tell.
I thought it'd be really cool to make a game about a purse.
She hit you over the head with it once, and you're like, that would make a great game.
So that was the entire concept.
That's a nice purse.
Nice model.
And then I made this lie about making a survival game so that I could make a game about a purse.
Yeah. Hoping to get free purses. So how do you feel? How do you feel?
I feel great.
Yeah.
And so they have different traits, like being fast or slow.
Oh my God! This is crazy. I mean, all these were such huge leaps past where I saw them last time. I think last time I saw Darwin, it was just Devin sitting with that little chessboard of death and eugenics. You know, he's just like sitting there like die, 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 die. And then I came back, it was like cute, weird little unicorn llamas running around, sucking them up into a vacuum cleaner. I see you've actually hunted in your life.
I felt really good. I'm really proud of the game we made. And so it was fun to see it in its kind of finished, prototype finished, but the finished form.
Nice.
Wow.
Pro move.
Make fun of Silvio anymore. No, tiny baby. It's like a tiny baby.
He's really strong, though. Really strong little guy.
Yep. So yeah, the traits are all independent of each other. So like being small or big doesn't mean that it's easier to kill or less dangerous to you. It just changes how much food you get from it.
Oh my God, 93. You can do it. This is the unicorn.
All right.
Yeah.
So now,
Okay.
now he can teleport back to the ship.
Oh, look at and he found Anna's purse.
Yes.
I feel like just after playing it a couple times, I didn't quite yet figure out what my strategy should be. But that game is all about feedback, and so learning. I think if I played it a couple more times, I'd learn how to optimize it so I could get past my limit, which is currently like the first day. I haven't gotten past the first day in that game.
You know, actually, I haven't really seen any feedback other than from when people in the office played it. And some of that feedback was, it's really hard.
I think I got the controls just a bit. I just didn't see, like I didn't really get a sense for all the monsters, so I want to.
We tuned it a little too difficult. The game changed drastically over the last, 4 hours of day 10. We didn't really have any way to have a good sense of that. But at the end of the day, I kind of had to just pick some numbers and hope that they were right.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That's awesome. That turned out pretty fun, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome
Cool.
Darwin's dinner.
I think everything has to get thought through again if we were going to actually build a full game out of it. It doesn't work as well as I envision the mechanic working in a full game, but I think evolving something into a very different creature over a longer period is still something I'm very interested in with this concept.
Do you find yourself missing the intensity of those 2 weeks, or are you glad to go back to the normal routine?
I'm not really missing it. I got some experience that I've never had before with leading, also with kind of thinking through a pitch and a concept and how to design the game. So I definitely gained a whole bunch of experience that was new to me. It was pretty awesome. Don't put that on. Don't put that out.
I think that's what I grabbed.
Look, Austin's behind the camera. Back behind the camera. Look at him over there. No, he's like that creature that can go between worlds. He's stronger than all of you.
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to be practical about my excitement. It's weird to be the subject of something after shooting docs for so long. I don't, when I see myself in the thing, I don't really see that as me in a weird way. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like, it just feels like something that happened to some other person. So I'm glad that, you know, people who watched it got something out of it. I can't really reconcile the person that they're talking about with myself.
He was playing for the crowd, though. You could tell in his interviews. He's like, how can I work this? He definitely knows what his good side is and what these cameras are capable of. He's like, don't ever go to the side like Tim always does. Never looks good. Okay, now I'm gonna slouch. This is what I learned about being on camera. This always looks good. Yeah, the people of the project creators always seem like they're right on the edge of cracking. It's more fun to watch, right?
I mean, sometimes I get a lot of people asking me about, you know, whether or not I'm okay. Because like some people are watching the last few documentary episodes as they're coming out, and like in some of those last few days in particular, I was like extremely tired and very stressed, and like, you know, like Key will come up to me and he's like, I had no idea you were so stressed out. Like, you shouldn't have done that to yourself. You know, you gotta relax, man. Like that day that Ryan wasn't there, like I allowed that to sort of get the best of me and sort of like psych me out a little bit. That part I remember being difficult while I had the opportunity, because all these people will go back to making games and I never will. Closer to the end, when like we had our big review meeting and like the level was done and like machines were working and like we were playing it in front of our team and like you could hear people get excited about stuff, and that to me was very satisfying because I felt like I was beating myself up a lot about how much I was asking people to do, and I was worried that I was just like wearing people down, and like I didn't know if I was creating this resentment or not, or like if it was somehow demotivating for people to have that much to do. But I think in that meeting, in that moment where people were seeing all the payoff, it was nice to hear that people were still excited by it.
Oh, wow.
The best part of this whole thing was seeing the studio react to the game actually being played on that last day. So.
Awesome. Well, here, look, you did it. You made a game.
Yeah,
right?
We made a game.
Oh, we'll
with
see.
An amazing
we'll see,
team.
Maybe.
It's a game.
All right.
It's a beautiful game.
I like his asymmetric glove. What the heck? All right. Holy cow. Exciting. Okay. Rail slides.
It had the intended effect, like people were invested in the right moments, in the moments that I had hoped they would be. Like you were saying, you know, when the doors opened up, everyone was rightfully impressed by everything that they saw, like the scope of it and the quality of the execution visually, and then just the fact that you could play through the round. I think I was very proud of the team and thankful for them for realizing the idea that I had to that degree. I think if I'm going to take a look at this whole experience, that was really sort of the moment that I was aiming for, just because at a certain point I knew that we were not going to have time to really play test the game. So right away I was just like, you know, I had to make peace with the fact that when your average person picks up this game, they're not going to have any idea what they're supposed to do. So I'm really just hoping that this playthrough in front of the team goes well and that there's video evidence of it, because that is sort of like the only way that anyone is going to get a sense of what this game could be, is by watching a very tightly controlled playthrough by someone that knows what they're doing. And luckily on that day we had exactly that.
What can you do in 2 minutes?
You might have time for a fish cake? I don't know.
Got one more?
Oh.
One more, Vic. Don't rush now.
Something, there we go, nice. You know, the clock was starting to count down.
Oh my God, you forgot the noodles in the ramen. It's not ramen without noodles, Vic.
Just run back and hit the button, don't worry about it. If he dropped something, there was like a big reaction, or like if he fell into the lava, there was another big reaction. Oh my God. Just go the safe way, go the safe way. People were getting really into whether or not Vic was going to finish it.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Huh? Wait.
people were like applauding when he finally like managed to deliver the goods and like got a positive rating. So I think seeing that was enough for me. Yeah.
Who is your team? I guess you don't. I don't wanna put you
No,
on the
there
spot.
are a ton of people on my team who are all amazing, and I don't want to just list them off because I'm going to
You
forget
can forget
somebody.
one of them. Yeah.
But
Here they are.
Here they are.
There's the list. You can let that stand.
yeah, and
Yeah, a lot of
yeah.
people. Wait, how'd you get all those people on your team? Wait a second.
I got super lucky. I got an amazing team. I just don't know what else to say. They're all incredible, and this wouldn't exist without them. So it was
all right.
Crazy to get to work with them. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Let's be on your team, and awesome. Good job. Well done, sir.
Yeah, it was definitely a very just like, it was sort of on, then it was off, and then all of a sudden all these people here are, you know, team members on a different game now, and like I have this weird memory where it's like, oh, you were like in this dream that I had, Ryan. We're like, we were making a game together, and now you're just on Psychonauts again. And like I passed by Brian in the hall now, and it's like that was someone that like, for a very intense period of time, we had this like very close working relationship. Yes.
I'm poofed. I'm a goddamn genius.
My God, we can hide anything now. But now there's like this huge distance between us again, like where I'm behind the camera and like he's just working on the stuff that he's working on. And I don't know what he's doing day to day, and he doesn't know what I'm doing day to day. So yeah, I don't know.
Also, if you can't let those relationships go, how else are you going to build your empire?
For me,
Crying out loud.
the grief is still too near.
So I have to ask this question with Asif here, but
No, I'll make this more uncomfortable for Asif. That's the main goal.
I don't know. Have you thought about having Asif work on P2 a little bit?
Oh, well, Asif knows that we've thought about that. Asif has been kind of hard to keep down, and trust me, we have tried. We've tried to keep Asif down with his ideas, and he just keeps generating ideas. It's like a leaky hose. You just got to plug them in somewhere, so that all those leaks go somewhere, right, Asif?
And, like I also get a couple of people asking me whether or not like I'm going to switch over and like start working on projects here, and like Anna came up to me the other day and she told me, she's like, Asif, I had a dream where like you quit Double Fine and 2-Player and you started your own game studio, and I was like, I'm not even crazy enough to dream that. No, but it was awesome. I mean, people did amazing work. I never expected people to half-ass it, you know what I mean? Like, I knew everyone here was a committed professional, that they were each gonna do their respective discipline to the highest degree, but it was, you know, despite, even aside from knowing that, it's still very heartening to know that they cared enough about my project and like, that they were excited about it and like gave me so much support. That's like something that I will never forget. Even if I never get to do anything else again, I'll always have this. So, made a game for a little bit.
Ooh.